Phone connected.
Hari ini terbang nggak, Dok? Kira-kira?
Hari ini belum tahu.
Belum tahu ya. Tapi rigging berarti.
Kalau ada yang bantuin.
Oke.
Kata Ellen cuacanya nggak sebagus kemarin.
Oh iya.
Makanya dia nggak jadi terbang. Dia nggak ke Kipit hari ini.
Oh. Lah, kemarin bilangnya naik motor ke Tambor terus
Ya.
mau ke sini.
Jadinya habis ke Tambor dia pulang.
Oh.
Well, I've doubled that. So perhaps it's a bit pessimistic.
Apaan tuh? Mau ngapain?
Mau bongkar glider barunya Mr. Ando.
Glider apa?
Standar Cirrus. Ya, glider lama sih tapi masih oke.
Nih glider apa nih? Di describe dong. Ini apa? Club class.
Ini glider main di club class.
Club class itu berapa? 50 meters.
Punya dulu juara dunia 4 kali single rider.
Anjay.
Oh iya, gue renner.
Sambil ngeliatin Jenny masih ngobrol sama Dan sih, sama Mission.
Dia takut ada ngegores gara-gara ininya. Cuma menurut gue sih harusnya ini pas geruduk-geruduk gitu loh. Atau lu coba cari ada sambungan atau apa gitu nggak lo? Buat si ini.
Body gapnya itu.
Oh, biar nggak jeglok ya. Ngapain, Dok?
Kita lagi bantu Ivan nurunin trailer. Kita kasih berat di belakangnya
Biar nggak kayak gini.
biar lebih gampang diturunin. Let's see, berhasil nggak nih? Bisa turun?
Knalpot. Tak plane-nya pecah, retak. Hari pertama emang udah trouble sih, tapi masih bisa terbang. Jadi hari ini kayaknya nggak terbang atau terbang pakai winch launch. We'll see. Jadi sekarang aku bantuin mereka rigging.
Oke. So I would visualize belakangan. Visualize duluan. Keluar.
Keluar, ditahankan, baru kita ngeluarin dulu satu-satu. Ini selalu kayak gitu.
Ya udah. Alright, I will undo the straps maybe.
Come up here.
I think it's
Come up here.
Oke.
Just pull on there. Okay. You hang it on that side. I'll come round. Oh. Now, going to need to be lifted over. That bit, isn't it? Just pull on there. Okay. You hang it on that side. I'll come round. Oh. Now, it's going to need to be lifted over that bit, isn't it? Just pull on there. Okay. You hang it on that side. I'll come round. Oh. Now, it's going to need to be lifted over that bit, isn't it? Just pull on there. Okay. You hang it on that side. I'll come round. Oh. Now, it's going to need to be lifted over that bit, isn't it? Just pull on there. Okay. You hang it on that side. I'll come round. Oh. Now, it's going to need to be lifted over that bit, isn't it? Just pull on there. Okay. You hang it on that side. I'll come round. Oh. Now, it's going to need to be lifted over that bit, isn't it? Just pull on there. Okay. You hang it on that side. I'll come round. Oh. Now, it's going to need to be lifted over that bit, isn't it? Just pull on there. Okay. You hang it on that side. I'll come round. Oh. Now, it's going to need to be lifted over that bit, isn't it? Just pull on there. Okay. You hang it on that side. I'll come round. Oh
Alright.
Now, where that is it good to put it inside? You don't want to get the any dirt or
Dirt,
grit on there.
Taruh mana?
So it needs to
Maybe
be put
inside? Put it inside, Ian.
in this way.
Di open.
Where's the lock?
Where is the?
Oh, locknya depan banget ya? Enggak, this one?
How to open it?
Depan gini.
Merah-merah itu. Itu kayak bukan, itu bukan.
Oh no, it's the ejection.
So
Tapi yang salah di
it's
sini.
the white one that you need, isn't it? So
Tapi kalau ngelihat,
is there a bolt in there for me?
oh no, I'm pretty sure it's the red one.
Tarik yang mana?
Yep. And the other one for the canopy ejection. Okay, here you go, Mr. Ando.
Right. So the fuselage has now got to come back. Nose to the roughly your tail. Okay. It is. Yeah.
Jadi terbang, tapi pakai winch. Yang penting bisa terbang terus belajar landing. Mantap.
Itu talinya nyangkut di.
Oh ya.
We need a useful person.
Mancing mania.
Excellent. That's it on top, so you can't do it again. Now, we've ended up in the same situation. So that, can you come round,
I'll touch the root.
trying to
That's a big engine. That's a big engine. 4. Jadi intinya tadi pagi tuck plane-nya rusak, knalpotnya pecah, jadi nggak bisa terbang. Jadi 2 orang lain, ada Warren sama Ross, langsung cabut pulang. Terus kita tetap latihan bikin circuit planning sama landing pakai winch. Ya, gitu dong.
You were a bit behind it, weren't you?
Yeah.
The first one didn't,
Yeah.
not thinking. Was a challenge, I'll put. Then, good circuits and landings. Try to land shorter. Don't
Go towards
Look.
Grant's car.
at obstacles
Yeah.
on the runway. Look straight ahead to where you want to go. Now flying, launch and release. Just not take off yet. There you go, there's a nice essay. JAG. So now we can do lucky we got the winch, else there would have been no flying for anybody.
Yeah.
Now, I was impressed with the looking out today, so I'm going to put 5s on those today.
Okay.
So we did 6. 6? I'm sure we did 7. What date is it? 12?
10.
10?
10, yeah. 10, 4.
Oh, times goes fast.
Yeah.
I think we can get a 5 for that one. Still need a bit more practice on use of the air brake, so knowing when to pull a lot, when to use less. But good anyway, it should be 4.5 really. Undercarriage, use of undercarriage. Oh yes, you've been doing that in your imagination.
Yeah.
Canopy, yes. We've done all that. Down the same line, 6. Aerotow we haven't been doing. Launch and release winch. Winch launch release. Post release actions. 4.
Still doing the action a bit too late, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the last one was okay, but I'll give it 5 tomorrow if it's still good.
All right.
But I had to, you've got to get the nose down, because if you just waffle along after the cable goes and then start to turn, that's how you get into a spin. Now that glider probably won't spin, not with our weight in it, but if you were on your own, it would.
Okay.
React to airspeed changes, too fast signal. Well, the too fast, I haven't even shown you that because I always use the radio if it's too fast. But there is a signal, and you pedal the rudders like that, and it wags the tail, which means too fast. But usually I'm panicking when it's going too fast and thinking, oh,
Yeah.
to use the radio.
Yeah.
But that is a signal, so we can do that tomorrow maybe. Threats during winch launch: speed, power, direction control. So we need to talk about those. So we talked about the speed. So we have to keep the speed between 1 1/3 times the stall speed, which is about 52-ish. And well, probably 50 is enough. And the maximum for this glider was 65. And if you can get it going up at about 55, 57, you'll gain more height. You were letting it get to 60 because I kept saying, nose up, nose up, nose up, pull more.
Yeah.
And you get a bit higher.
Yeah.
But then if it's too much, the weak link breaks. But the weak link will break when it gets to a really steep angle like that and the speed's increasing. But we were going up quite gently, really. Believe me, that was gentle.
Oh, that was gentle.
The active airspeed signals, so I think maintain safe airspeed, so there's 3s on those. And this we're talking about, so power failure. We had a power failure, but it wasn't while we were in the air, fortunately. But during the first launch, we had a power failure because remember the glider came up like that, and so I lowered the nose immediately, and then the power picked up. I was about to release, but the power picked up again, and then halfway through that launch, the power failed a bit, and I was thinking I'm going to have to release and land straight ahead, I think, from where we were, but then it picked up again. So I've definitely demonstrated it. We had power failure. I'll put 1 for demonstration. And the direction control, when you're taking off, if you drop a wing on the takeoff, you have to, which doesn't often happen if you get a good fast takeoff, but if you should drop the wing, you have to release immediately before the wing touches the ground, really. When I was in Alice Springs, our runway was red dirt, a bit like a French Open tennis court sort of surface.
Yeah.
And we actually used to take off with the wing down, so we'd get the wing up and level and launch, and it was quite safe because of the runway. I wouldn't do it on the grass here, but if the wing had gone down when I was getting the wing up and it had gone down the other side, that would have been a release immediately situation. Or if it had, after the initial getting the wings level, if it had gone down. And if you look at, I think if you Google BGA, that's British Gliding Association, safe winch launching, they've got some videos and things. It shows you some real accidents where nobody was hurt and some cartoon ones where people would have been hurt. So it's good to watch those
Yeah, I'll watch this.
if you get the chance.
BGA.
BGA, safe winch launching.
Safe winch
If you
launch.
Google it, I'm sure you'll find it.
Yeah, we'll look into that tonight.
So a lot of people who don't winch launch very often are a bit scared because of these. If it does go wrong, it can go wrong very quickly and be quite serious. But I think it's pretty safe, really. We get up into the air quickly. It's cheap. And when we aero tow, you know, we go, especially if we go from that end, we're going over the fence quite low there, and there's not a lot of things you can do. You know, there's some paddocks out there. Whereas when you're on a winch launch, you can either land straight ahead if you're up there, or if it breaks a bit higher up, you've got enough room to turn back, so you're never going to land outside the airfield. But you have to do the right thing. You have to follow the safety procedures and keep the safe speed near the ground.
Interesting.
Self-launch, winch takeoff, preparation for takeoff. And I'll put the thing here. 10, 4, 25. I think I get you doing the takeoff more easily on winch than aero tow, actually. Preparation for takeoff, you do that. Ground run and separation, it's just demonstration so far. Oh, initial climb. You've been doing that. I got you to do that on the last couple of flights. Takeoff. Oh no, that's the wrong one. Sorry. White out. This one. So I've been showing you that. You can do that tomorrow. Threats during takeoff on a winch launch: speed, power flow, direction control, release if wing drops. So we just talked about that. So you should probably read that as well, the theory lesson, circuits and landing. I think this is probably a 5 and maybe 4 and 4. Now, what I want you to do more in the landings is think about alternatives. So if we are doing a circuit and all of a sudden we get a heap of sink and we haven't got enough room to do the full circuit, we've got to be able to turn in and do something different. So firstly, you've got to be the boss of the glider and make it go where you want to go.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to decide to do something different. And we haven't really done any of those where you've had to decide to do something different yet. So that's what we've got to cover. So once we're up in the air on the winch launch, we were getting about the same height as we were using aero tow when we were patching the circuits, weren't we? We're getting high enough. There's one we didn't get so high. Join circuits as plans, range of non-standard X's of 4, because we haven't done the odd ones. We've just done straightforward ones so far. Which is unusual because usually I get wind and gusts and we have to change the plan quite often. But we haven't had to because we've had beautiful weather. I think you can do that. We haven't done modifying circuits. Use the radio. I think we can do that. Now, I'll put 4 for that for the moment because you're doing the radio calls for the circuit, which is fine. You're doing it nicely. The other thing we have to do is if an aeroplane comes along or somebody calls, you have to pipe up and tell them where you are. So if you don't hear his call sign, it doesn't matter, say, like keep it traffic or aircraft inbound to keep it. I'd just say late keep it traffic. And you just give a position report. Glider, India uniform, Romeo, overhead the field, 3,000, something like that. Thermaling, or whatever it might be. And that's all very well, and then they will come back and ask you something, and then you'll think, what does he want to know? So we need to be able to answer them. But, when I learnt on a field where there was a lot of power traffic. It was an aero club as well as a gliding club. And we had 2 runways, one for the power and one for the gliders. And as soon as a power plane came in, I'd just pipe up on the radio and tell him where I was, and so that they knew where to look. So alerted, see and avoid. We also... The guy that used to own your glider, Attila Burtok. So before Cam, it was Attila. owned it. And I taught Attila to fly, or I was involved in his training at Forbes. And he's Hungarian, and he's got quite an accent. And so we said to Attila, I sent him solo, and he says, "Oh, I'm not sure about the radio." And we said, "Never mind about, the radio, just say something, say something so people know where you are." So the radio call we got was, "Everybody at Forbes, this is Attila. I'm landing." So anyway, but at least we knew where to look. But that was before he had that glider. He did loads of long flights in that glider.
He has SW20, right? I know. Attila.
He's got that now, yes.
Yeah.
After he got it, sold Zulu Romeo. And, the first person to have it was Ingo Renner.
Yeah, Ingo Renner.
Who flew it in the World Championships.
Yeah.
And my Cirrus was also in that same World Championships, but its pilot wasn't as good as Ingo. So you're happy with the tailplane now?
Yes.
You can. It's awkward.
Yeah, it's all good, but we're still like learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Pintu kiri belakang dong. Ya, thank you. Apa di klakson? Nanti dia nyapa. Kalau dikejar gimana sama? Stupid kalian. Nah.